If you've ever had a rough moment, a tense meeting, a stressful email, a mistake that caught you off guard, and after that, everything felt harder, like your brain just shut down or spun out completely, and suddenly you couldn't focus, you couldn't make decisions, and you couldn't do even the smallest task without feeling overwhelmed, that's not just a bad mood, that's emotional dysregulation. Hi, I'm Sara Kelly. I'm an ADHD coach for late diagnosed high achieving women. And today we're talking about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention. How intense emotions don't just coexist with ADHD, they can completely disrupt how our brains function. In this video, we're going to break it down. Why emotional dysregulation happens in ADHD brains, how it messes with your focus, motivation, and memory, and what you can actually do to get yourself back on track when everything else feels really overwhelming. If you've ever felt like your emotions are in the driver's seat and you can't get anything done because of it, this video's for you. Let's start with something that most of us have felt, but we're never taught how to name or handle, because emotional dysregulation doesn't just affect how we feel, it changes how we show up in our day-to-day lives. So what is emotional dysregulation? It's when your emotions show up suddenly, intensely, and take longer than usual to settle. Your brain gets flooded and the part of you that usually helps with things like focus planning and self-talk goes quiet. And then ADHD symptoms get louder. You might lose track of what you were doing, struggle to transition, snap at somebody, or shut down entirely. This can happen even when things seem minor. An offhanded comment, a change in plans, and by the end of the day, she's absolutely exhausted, not because of her workload, but because of the emotional weight she's been carrying on top of it. And that's exactly what emotional dysregulation looks like in real life. It's not about being too emotional. It's about your brain needing more support than it's getting. So why does this happen? ADHD affects executive functions, which means it's harder to manage time, tasks, and emotions. So when a strong feeling shows up, like stress, frustration, or shame, your nervous system responds as if there's a threat, and it gets loud. And your thinking brain, or your executive functions right in the prefrontal cortex that helps you plan, focus, and regulate, takes a backseat. So you're not just upset, you're foggy. You're spinning or frozen or stuck in a loop of guilt and avoidance. And no matter how much you want to get back on track, you can't think your way out of it because your nervous system is trying to get back to safety. So what can you do when this happens? Let's talk about a few things that actually help, not just in theory, but in the moment. Number 1, learn your early signals. Most of us only realize we're dysregulated when we're already deep in it. So start paying attention to smaller cues, like feeling extra sensitive to tone, or suddenly needing to fix something immediately, getting stuck in rereading or reworking things, your body getting tight, hot, fidgety, or still. These are all signals that your nervous system is overwhelmed. The sooner you notice, the sooner you can step in and support yourself. Number 2, step away even briefly. When your emotions are running the show, your brain needs a moment to reset before you try to power through. And it doesn't mean you have to take a long break. Just try some things like standing up, changing rooms, getting outside for a few minutes can be really, really helpful. Or putting on music and moving your body a little. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just needs to interrupt the spiral long enough for your brain to breathe. Number 3, build in transition time. Emotional dysregulation hits harder when we're going nonstop. Your brain needs time to come down after stress. Even good stress. Try adding 2 to 5 minutes between things. You can take a few deep breaths, a quiet moment alone, or a quick walk. Or even writing a note to yourself like, that was intense and I'm still okay. These pauses aren't wastes of time. They're how you make time for your brain to function effectively. Number 4, adjust your expectations. When your emotions are heightened, your brain isn't operating at full capacity. And that's not something that you can push through. So instead of holding yourself to the same standard as a calm day, give yourself permission to scale back. Ask yourself what actually feels manageable right now. What's the smallest next step I can take? It could be answering just one email, or getting up to refill your water, or taking 10 minutes to reset before coming back. This isn't about giving up. It's about giving yourself room to come back online gently without judgment. Number 5, don't isolate. When we feel out of control emotionally, the instinct is often to hide or to go quiet, to pretend we're fine while we're falling apart behind the scenes. You don't have to white knuckle your way through this alone. If emotional dysregulation is derailing your days, if your nervous system always feels like it's in survival mode, there is support for that. I offer complimentary calls where we can talk about what's going on behind the scenes and whether coaching would be a good fit for you. There's a link in the description of this video. Emotional dysregulation isn't just feeling things deeply. It's a real physical, neurological experience that can derail your focus, your productivity, and your sense of capability. But it doesn't mean that you're weak or there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're failing. It means that your brain needs more space, more care, and better tools than it's been given. And you can learn those tools, not all at once and not perfectly, but step by step in a way that works for you. If this video spoke to you, feel free to like it or send it to someone who gets it. And if you're curious what this kind of support could look like in your own life, again, there's a link to book a call with me in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week in the next video.